I think there is some added cost there. You know, I guess best example of a place where we had to look at this was with the WebRTC standardization effort, where it took, I think, 3.5 years to come to. We were presenting codec options. When we talked about audio, it was very obvious. Like we presented Opus and I think G611 or whatever, G611, and so those two were like the two mandatory to implement audio codecs. When it came to video, it took 3.5 years, and we didn't actually end up with a single mandatory to implement video codec. We ended up with two, VP8 and 264, and that created a bunch of compatibility issues, right? I mean, you had broader reach because like maybe you could get to different access points that you couldn't get to before, but now you have these boxes in the middle to do with compatibility, and so there's some trade-offs that were made there, and I think that it's a successful standard in that people are using it, and so you have to kind of deal with some of the extra costs to reach that broader audience.
To a certain extent, it almost sounds like the discussions we had around HTML5 video and audio tags, where the assumption was the video tag was going to be to a single codec, and ultimately you had to make call-outs.
Yeah, that was another unfortunate set of discussions that didn't get to a place where we ensured compatibility.
So do you also see what Tarek and Vittorio were talking about with HDR? I mean, is that a reason to implement, or is bandwidth savings a more primary reason?
I agree with them that reaching or enabling new use cases that you didn't have before is very compelling, and I think that as Vittorio said, this notion of say HDR as a 25% improvement or a 25% increase in total information content is a more compelling offering than going to 4K. Mm-hmm. Like the user experience is going to be much higher, and so moving to a codec that allows you to do that is going to enable that use case, and so dealing with multiple codecs to do that is totally rational and compelling.